Hey there, you me and DC fans, and welcome if you are new. I am the stepson of Krypton,
And I am Mantis.
and today we are recording this video. I don't know exactly when it's going to get released, but from what we're recording, we are getting ready to by tomorrow to see the Deadpool and Wolverine movie that everybody's excited for. So we thought we would do a little bit of a discussion on because we're trying to stay away from spoilers, guys. So keep them out of the comments. Is the passing of the torch, right? Where do we go from here with the Wolverine character? So, Mantis, are you ready to get into the discussion?
Yep.
X Files. All right, guys. So Mantis and I, we did an initial reaction to the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. Like I think at that time it was still just called Deadpool, but the Deadpool 3 trailer,
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Um, you should go check it out. It's good stuff. It is a little bit longer. It's literally at 50
As
minutes,
long.
but we break down all of the that's what she said. But we do break down all of the Easter eggs and cameos that we knew up to that point, right? But after that, we really decided like, hey, we didn't want to know any more. We kind of wanted to go into this because this is the first movie in a little while I've been excited for. I've actually wanted to go see in theaters, and I know Mantis is feeling the same way.
Yeah.
So we didn't watch any more trailers. That's why we didn't bring any reactions to the second, third, the final trailer they just released. We're trying to stay away from spoilers, but it raised an interesting question, right? We all know that Wolverine dies at the end of Logan. I'm not even going to say fucking
What?
spoilers because
I've not seen Logan. I'm just kidding. Continue.
you're done.
Continue.
You're good. Okay, but we all know that he dies in that. But obviously, we're going to a different timeline. We're getting a variant of Wolverine here.
I'll
Um,
hate it.
I love it because Hugh Jackman's coming back, right? And those two together are just they're an
In
amazing
principle, I hate it.
duo.
Ryan Reynolds is a complete and total. Sorry, man. I didn't think the truce was actually real.
We can say this is
I
an
get it.
exception, but I
I
hate
get
it.
it. But yeah, an exception, not the rule. But it leaves the question of because obviously we've not seen the film yet at the time of recording. Is what does this mean for the character Wolverine? Right? Are we going to continue with the continuity with the story that he dies at the end of Logan because this is a different one, or does this leave it open for Hugh Jackman to continue playing the role of Wolverine?
Yeah, it's a good question because I was thinking too. Like, I mean, again, like as good as Hugh Jackman looks, and I know I listened to a couple interviews, and saw some interviews about him having to bulk back up and his training regimen to get back into Logan shape. And I mean, he's 55. Like, he's not a spring chicken. If even if he doesn't die at the end of this movie or not, has nothing to do with that, but let's just say he's not in any of the future movies, right? As Hugh Jackman's not necessarily Wolverine, but Hugh Jackman is not. um it wouldn't be far fetched to think that. I mean, by the time the next movie would come out, I mean, he would be in his 60s. Like, that's a tough. It's tough, and I know, Hugh Jackman's built different, clearly, to still be as one as good an actor as he. I mean, he's been playing the same character for 25 plus 20 years, 25 plus years. I mean, like, he's it's just a pretty big ask, to continually be in good shape and do that for that long. It's a lot to ask, I guess.
Well, I wouldn't say like continually be in good shape, right? Because in 2000, when we saw the original X-Men movie, now he was a late addition, right? He was not actually set to be the original Wolverine. He kind of the original person had fallen out. Boom, he gets the role. So he was in okay shape, but he was, I mean, for a guy at his age, us were like, oh, that's in pretty good shape, right? But he wasn't. He has since just constantly gotten in better shape, right? He's constantly gotten to the point of, I mean, he is in ridiculous shape now. So it's not even like kind of maintaining. He's been getting better. And again, yeah, he's almost either right at or almost 56 years old. That takes a toll, right? And he said, it's so much harder to get in shape for the role, because obviously that's the thing with a lot of actors. He's so versatile and he does so many other things that he has to lose weight for a role, and he can't be super crazy muscular, but then he's got to bulk back up. Whereas, when you're doing like Chris Hemsworth, where he's just been Thor all this time, and then he's doing like the Hulk Hogan biopic, and he just stays fucking jacked all the time. It's a little bit easier, still sucks to maintain, but it's easier than the fluctuations. So, and as you get older, it gets progressively harder. As an old person, I know some people don't think I am, but I'm 41 fucking years old. Working out is not the same as when I was in my 20s and all that. Yeah. So the question being is, Hugh Jackman said after Logan he was done. He was done with the character. He wanted to retire the character. But then his good old buddy Ryan, called him up one day, and there's a great little YouTube like skit of it. I almost feel like that's exactly how it went down. But he's like, hey, bring the claws back out. We want you for another film. So he decided, hey, okay, I'm going to come in for this movie. I had to get back up and bulk and ripped and all this. But because he is not the Wolverine from the timeline that we know him from, right? Like they're going to a different timeline to get, or at least what it seems like. Again, I've only seen the original trailer. Is they're getting the different Wolverine. Obviously, that's why Logan is still going to have taken place. Is what does that mean for his role as Wolverine going forward? Is this a one-time thing and then he's done? Are they going to then, if we're going to unite the universes, kind of like what it's seeming like what Deadpool's going to do, is he going to continue playing? Because again, at 56, how many more times is he going to be able to suit up as Wolverine? Right. Or is he going to pass the torch?
Right? Yeah. Like, is this I was gonna you said exactly what I was thinking. Like, is this just a one-time thing? Because again, like you said, he said he was done. He wasn't going to do it anymore. And then this, he probably read the script and was like, you know what, I've got to do it. And again, we watched the first trailer for the movie, and it looks good. And the question is, if he's not, who would be doing it? Like, who would you cast as moving forward? Whether that be with the current iteration of Wolverine, or if they reboot the character in the X-Men, which I think they're gonna. I would, if I was Marvel. Again, because they got obviously the rights back from the Fox iteration of X-Men. And don't get me wrong, like some of the original X-Men movies are good, but there's parts of it that are just, I don't know. But it's like watching those movies over the years, like, man, it's like if there was ever a perfect cast for a character, like, man, Hugh Jackman is just, he plays that part so well. He plays Logan well, and he plays Wolverine. It's just one of the things that's kind of sucks is that. And I don't know. I mean, you see him in the suit, like the actual Wolverine suit. But do we get to see him with the mask on? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I swear to God, if I don't get to see him with the mask on this movie, I'm gonna be really pissed. But either way, there's a couple of people, and I know you are a fan of this show because I'm gonna just throw this out as to break the ice of who we think could do it. The Boys actor Carl Urban has a couple people said that he could play the role. He's big. He's got the beard, the grizzled look. He's got the dark hair. I don't know. And he's been in another comic book show. But
now, to be fair, Wolverine's not big as far as height. Like in the comics, he's like 5'3". Right, and that's kind of the thing with Hugh Jackman is he's damn near a foot taller than his comic book counterpart of when we're talking about for Wolverine. But I do think he kind of gives the look. There have been, I'm gonna have him up here, but there have been talks of Daniel Radcliffe playing Wolverine. There have been talks of Zac Efron playing Wolverine, and there's been fan makeups And I say there's
Yeah.
been talks. There's fans have been saying. I'm not saying there's anything confirmed. Fans have been saying, dude, and they did fan art. Oh, like they put him in the suit and they make it look, and all of them kind of look cool because it's. So we just did an episode where we were talking about Batman, and I said I don't know that I can see anybody, like I don't have anybody in mind that I'm like they're perfect for the role, kind of like we have with like Professor Xavier and things like that. We're like, yep, that person is that's who I imagine that character being, right? So other than Hugh Jackman, and don't get me wrong, I mean he when they first cast X-Men, the only person I gravitated towards was Patrick Stewart playing Xavier. I wasn't thinking Hugh Jackman for Wolverine. It just happened to work out, and he's amazing. And he's the only person now that I can envision playing Wolverine. So whomever they get, they're like, okay, I'll have to just give him a chance and see. And that's a difficult one, man, because we're talking over 24 years right now of playing the same character, and he's so loved as the character. You have the most monumental shoes to fill. I don't know. I'll look it up. So don't fucking hate me in the comments for it. But I don't know that one actor has ever played one other like character, like superhero character, for that long. I feel like not, because again, it's 24 years. It's going to be 25 by the time the movie releases, and we figure out what's going to happen with him, right? Because obviously,
when did Logan come out?
In a few days. The movie Logan.
Yeah.
2017, I believe. Don't quote me on that.
So I mean, that's quite a big gap there between now and the last time he played the character. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I was right.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of stretching it. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's still a long time. I'm just saying the tail end of this is kind of long. So there is it's like that's almost 7 or 8 years that you could tack off of it. So I'm not saying it's not long. There's still long. Like, even if you include that, it's still long. But you're right. Like, there's that, the most recent is always what's on your mind, right? Especially with that character, because no one else has played him. Even in every movie, it's been him. So like, that's what is everyone's just expecting and always familiar with. It's that what you're familiar with. So yeah, go ahead.
No, so I was going to say, but that's why I say he's continued to play the character, because nobody else has, right? It's not like James Bond where, one movie releases and then 2 years later they got a new Bond, but he's still playing the same character, right? Nobody else has. Like, he has still been everybody's Wolverine. So yeah, I get there was a 7-year gap in between Logan and now, but he's still been everybody's Wolverine. He is the character. But the point to that is that, that's again who people have envisioned. He's continuing to play him. Everything's going to be the same. He's even bounced through the original X-Men trilogy versus the newer X-Men with the young people. He has still been in that, a part of that, right? He's been in more of the X-Men films than anybody else, right? So he is that character. Right. And again, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to try to find some way to keep him going through the Deadpool movie, or if this is a one and done. This is his last time he's hanging up the claws. Right. So the big question for everybody is, what happens to the Logan timeline? And is Daphne Keane going to take up the mantle of playing Wolverine?
Hope not. Because again, I think rebooting X-Men is the way to go. That's just my opinion.
Now, what I saw was a Forbes article, but they had discussed about a lot of fans. That was their go-to is, dude, you've already set up Laura Kinney as the Wolverine, basically. Like, she is the heir to Wolverine. And for those who don't know, like, she's existed in the comics since 2003. Well, I say comics since 2004. She was in the 3rd season, 10th episode of X-Men Evolution, the animated series, where they tried to reboot the animated series. It didn't go as well as X-Men 97. But so she was in that's where they introduced the character of Laura Kinney, who is a clone of Wolverine. And then in, I think it was February of 2004, she finally got added to the comics, right? So she's been in for a while. I'd say that like this isn't a move when they introduced Daphne. I hope I'm saying her name right, but I'm pretty sure it's Daphne into the Logan movie. I don't feel like it was a woke kind of anything like that. Is that, you know what, like she's been in the comics, he's dying, so she wouldn't be a reboot. She's kind of taking up the mantle of him.
But they loved it. Oh, they loved it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I don't know, like if they continue down that route, and because obviously she, that was 7 years ago. So by the time Deadpool gets out, Wolverine gets out, and then the next Wolverine or X-Men movies could be several more. So she's going to be significantly aged, right? So she will be an adult by the time all of this happens, if she's not already. I mean, fuck, I'm pretty sure she is. But all of this that happens, so can you make her into, and then you don't have to reboot Logan, you just let him carry on. So, and let us know down in the comments, guys, like, what do you feel like? Should they reboot Wolverine, or should they continue on with Laura Kinney, Daphne Keene playing X-23, basically playing the new Wolverine? Forgetting, again, I don't know when this is going to release, this video is, but tomorrow we are going to go see fucking Deadpool and Wolverine. So from recording, so take that in account. Where I don't know what's going to happen to the Wolverine timeline in this movie, so I don't know what's going to happen. Whether they're going to like cancel what happened in Logan, whatever. So keep that in mind. But what would you like to see? Would you rather see the character just rebooted, or should Daphne assume the mantle and get the torch be passed to her? Sorry, I know that was a lot of hand gestures. I apologize.
Yeah, no, I mean, my opinion is they should reboot it, and there's plenty of actors that can play Wolverine, I think, and well, I say that obviously the show must go on, as they say in show business. So at some point, whether it's in the near future or 50 years from now, they will reboot X-Men. And if it is sooner rather than later, there's a couple of actors that could do it. Like I already mentioned Carl Urban, but people have mentioned Tom Hardy, even Jensen Ackles. Who's the guy that was on Sons of Anarchy? Charlie Hunnam or whatever.
I've never seen Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, people have mentioned him as well. There's.
Let me point one thing out. Carl Urban is 52, right? So he's damn near the same age Hugh Jackman is. So
yeah.
I don't know that
if Carl they rebooted it, probably wouldn't pick him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that Carl Urban is the right. Now, don't get me wrong, I love him, dude. He has been in so many things, and when you start realizing how many different things he's been in, he is fantastic. He's an absolutely phenomenal actor. But yeah, he's at an age where I don't foresee him, like, you're not rebooting a franchise and bringing him in. You're going to go with somebody, like I'd mentioned earlier. Now, I'm not saying they would be good for it. I'm saying that, like a Daniel Radcliffe, Zac Efron, somebody who's 20s to early 30s, maybe, depending on how you want to do the character and how young you're going to make the other X-Men. Not that it matters, right? He has his healing factor. He's not supposed to age for a while.
Well, and they have de-aging.
Yeah, but that sometimes can look rough. And
most of the time it looks rough.
Yeah, it's like, again, I don't know what it is with these big budget movies lately and kind of skimping on the special effects. I guess it's paying for all the actors, like we've discussed. But de-aging, no, not for long, not for a main actor, right? Because you wouldn't just de-age him in this movie. If you're talking about Wolverine, that means you have to de-age him in all of the scenes, which he's going to be prominent in. It's one thing to do it to a side actor or actress like that you're not going to see, but for a one that you're trying to reboot a franchise, no, you're not going to do a de-aging. That costs way too much. So, I could definitely see them going with somebody, obviously younger. That's kind of like we talked about with Superman. They're getting this whole cast of young stars, kind of like in the Deadpool 2. He's like, they need to be morally flexible and young enough to carry this franchise for the next 10 years. Like, that's kind of what you're looking at, right? So yeah, I think you do a great job, but I don't think he would be a great fit for the role just based off of that. Not being ageist, because I'm old too, guys.
No, like you're saying, if they're gonna reboot it, you don't want. Why would you go with someone that can only be in a couple movies, and then it would look weird?
Yeah, because again, you'd have to play him on the older end of where he's starting to age, and the adamantium
Unless they
poisoning
did
is
that
really
and
starting to affect him.
Unless then they wanted to bring in what's her face, like you were saying, and they could bring in him.
Yeah, but at that point, then just keep Hugh Jackman for another movie or two. Let him keep getting old, and then bring in Daphne Keane again.
Wow. This is why I hate alternate universes. It just leads to stupid shit. Anyway, I digress.
All right, guys, we're gonna keep this one a little bit shorter, just because it was kind of a thought that we had about with the excitement that we were building up to Deadpool, but we talked about wanting to really bring out another video about Deadpool and Wolverine, but because we don't want anything spoiled for us, we just kind of opted against it, where we were like, hey, let's focus on the Wolverine aspect of it, because he's kind of the big question, right? Because we didn't think we'd get to see Hugh Jackman play him again. So it's exciting. Very excited for the movie. It's the first movie that I've been excited about. I think Mantis is in agreement to go see in theaters for at least the last couple of years. So excited to actually get back in the theater, watch a cool movie, and I'll be interested to see where they take Wolverine in the timeline, what we're going to do with him. And hopefully maybe towards the end of this movie, or by the end of this movie, we'll know is the direction to kind of reboot him? Are they just going to allow him to pass the torch to Daphne Keane? And then once we know, we'll let you know. There will be heavy spoilers, but I will make sure to put many, many notices ahead of time. So, but guys, let us know down in the comments what you think. If Hugh Jackman, assuming he is wanting to continue on with the role, he's willing to at least do another movie or two, should they keep going with him? Does he need to pass the torch to Daphne Keane? Do they need to just reboot entirely and not do the X-23 timeline? Let us know what you think, right? And while you're doing that, and if you've made it with us this far, consider giving this video a like. He's showing you where right now. Subscribing to the channel so you aren't going to miss all of the other videos we've got coming out with everything going on. What the fuck are you doing?
Trying to hold up that big fucking bar that you always put up there. It's heavy.
I'm going to make it this fucking small so you just look insane. Okay? But subscribing to the channel so you don't miss our insanity here. And then clicking the little bell notification, because we have, so much more coming out. As we're speaking, San Diego Comic-Con's going on, so we're going to be getting a lot of information. Deadpool, we're getting ready to go watch, so there's going to be a lot more information, and we are going to bring you all of the news, or at least as much as we can, right? Because we do have full-time jobs as well, too. However,
to combine a bunch of the info in one or two videos,
right? It may not make sense, it may be crazy, but we're going to have to get the information out to you as we can there and all that. So, we do appreciate, though, guys, all of our subscribers, all of you, both recent and our newest subscribers. You guys are the reason we do this channel. So, again, we're asking you to comment a bunch of stuff on how you feel about what's going on, but also let us know, are there certain other topics you want to see us discuss in these videos? Because we're here for you guys. Again, we don't make money off of this, right? We don't have sponsors, and we're not monetized. Clearly, you see how we talk in the thing. We try to do good.
To be clear, we would. By the way, I would sell
100%, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. But right now, we've not sold out. But we will also be transparent with you on the day we do sell out, right? Because it's nothing but honest.
Total shills. Well, it will be total shills. Will be across the top, so you know.
Dude, I didn't know what that word meant until that guy commented and said, he goes, "You guys are shills," and I had to look it up. I said, we don't make. Have you seen how many subscribers? We don't make any money off this channel. Are you kidding me? I'd love to be a shill.
Yeah,
100%, dude.
Paid.
Right? I was like, that's not happening, but that's just kidding, guys. But
funny.
not really.
People are silly. People are silly.
They are. Opinions. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for us on this episode of You, Me, and DC. Until the next time, we will see you then.
Later.